for Salla.
Was Mars moon Phobos just liberated from hostile extraterrestrial control? According to Elena Danaan, a former professional French archaeologist, the latest real-time intelligence data received from the Galactic Federation of Worlds is that Mars' largest moon, Phobos, has just been liberated from a hostile extraterrestrial group she identifies as small grey aliens from Zeta Reticuli. Her startling information is supported by scientific data and historical evidence indicating that an aggressive extraterrestrial species was indeed based somewhere in the interior of Phobos and was opposed to humans gaining any detailed knowledge of what was happening there. On Saturday, July 24, I received Elena's latest update from her primary contact with the Galactic Federation, Thorhan Eredian, who regularly communicates with her via a physical implant she received at the age of 9. This is what she sent me via email. Quote, "Contact today. It seems to be a repeating pattern that Thorhan contacts me in the early morning, as he is usually back to the station after completing a mission. His energy was soft and peaceful today as he gave me the news. Phobos, one of Mars' satellites, had been liberated by the forces of the Galactic Federation. It was a very big operation, highly sensitive due to the presence inside of this hollowed-out orbital facility of a large number of human prisoners." End quote. The idea that Phobos is a hollowed-out orbital facility is supported by scientific data. Speculation about Phobos being hollow initially emerged in the 1950s and 1960s due to its unusual orbit. The European Space Agency launched its Mars Express mission in 2003 and eventually released a report on what was discovered about Phobos. The report was published in Geophysical Research Letters in May 2010 and stated, quote, "We report independent results from 2 subgroups of the Mars Express radio science team who independently analysed Mars Express radio tracking data for the purpose of determining consistently the gravitational attraction of the moon Phobos on the Mars Express spacecraft and hence the mass of Phobos. We conclude that the interior of Phobos likely contains large voids. When applied to various hypotheses bearing on the origin of Phobos, these results are inconsistent with the proposition that Phobos is a captured asteroid." End quote. As the European Space Agency report clearly confirms, Phobos has large caverns, substantiating key elements of the hollow moon hypothesis. Furthermore, the report adds that Phobos is not a captured moon, thereby supporting the claim that Phobos was artificially placed in Mars' orbit and is used as a base by one or more extraterrestrial groups. Elena's July 24 communication continues as follows. Quote, "Phobos, truly named by the Galactic Federation, Tyre 2, has been a possession of the Krog Shambhadahali from Zeta Reticuli, small greys working for the Nebu, that is, extraterrestrials from the Orion constellation. This place was a central facility for treating human abductees brought from Earth, chipping them with trackers and preparing them for the different programs they would be used in. The reason why these operations were a delicate matter was the presence of all these unfortunate people, which needed to be freed before any military operation could be conducted. This is the difficult part in all of this. There are hostages and slaves in mostly all the enemy outposts, and these lives are to be spared. So it raises the complexity of any action to a high level." End quote. What evidence is there that Phobos has been used as a slave outpost of captured humans by an aggressive group of extraterrestrials? There is significant insider and circumstantial evidence that does corroborate Elena's claims here. In July 1988, the Phobos 1 and 2 missions were launched by the Soviet Union. The performance of the Phobos 2 spacecraft was flawless as it entered Mars orbit, took 38 photos, and then proceeded on towards Phobos. As Phobos 2 approached the moon Phobos in March 1989, a 20 kilometers long ellipse-shaped object was photographed heading towards Phobos 2, and all communications were then lost. Soviet scientists said that Phobos 2 was next spinning out of control, as though it had been impacted by an object. The scientific data about Phobos 2 and its sudden demise led to much speculation that there was something happening inside the moon Phobos, which its occupants did not want humanity learning about. If Phobos 2 was an extraterrestrial base with captured humans being treated as slaves, as Elena claims, then this would be a good reason for why the Phobos 2 spacecraft was targeted and incapacitated. Furthermore, the idea that there exists a slave trade involving captured humans is something I've discussed previously in relation to the Siemens company secretly building several billion RFID tracking chips in the 1980s and subsequently destroying all evidence of their construction. In a September 8, 2015 article, I cited compelling insider testimony and gave reasons for why it can be concluded that a galactic slave trade is in existence. Elena's report continued, quote, "The next target of the Federation's forces is Tyre 1, alias Mars' other main satellite, Deimos, which is held by the Matra, a taller type of grey extraterrestrial. It is a slave sorting place where freshly abducted humans are brought to be dispatched to diverse destinations. Similar facilities existed on the hidden sign of Earth's moon before it was recently liberated and given back to the Terrans." End quote. Elena's claim here about the moon being recently liberated is supported by the influx of private companies and nations that are planning to send missions to the moon with the intent of building bases there beginning in 2024. The colonization of Mars using commercial space companies is planned to begin shortly afterward by companies such as SpaceX. Furthermore, the Artemis Accords have created a multinational space coalition with the US at its core that makes space colonization and commercial activities on the moon, Mars, and in space possible. All these groundbreaking space developments suggest that there has been a dramatic change of management when it comes to the moon and celestial bodies elsewhere in our solar system, as I've discussed in an earlier article. So far, the evidence supporting Elena Danaan's startling information is primarily circumstantial, but it is nevertheless consistent with what a number of insiders have been revealing over the last few years. Ever since I began working with Elena in investigating the death of one of her sources, the super soldier Stephen Chow, and unfolding events in Antarctica, I've been impressed with the accuracy of her intel and how it matches with recent real-time data concerning Antarctica and outer space. There appears to have been a significant shift in exopolitical affairs that has allowed human space exploration in the public arena to move forward after having been stifled ever since the 1970s Apollo moon landings. While secret space programs established bases on the moon, Mars, and elsewhere in our solar system, all this was kept out of the public arena, thereby preventing the emergence of large-scale public space programs. The proliferation of private companies and national space agencies venturing boldly into space is not accidental, in my view. These private and public programs clearly point to recent exopolitical events that have changed the situation for humanity in a significant way with regard to our solar system. Elena Danaan is among the very few credible extraterrestrial contactees with accurate intelligence on real-time space events involving the Galactic Federation of Worlds. The full truth about extraterrestrial affairs in space will certainly not be revealed by official channels through their limited hangouts and embedded operatives in the full disclosure community. Nor will it emerge through Freedom of Information Act requests, regardless of the sincerity, competency, and determination of those making such requests. It is through sincere individuals like Elena Danaan with an understanding of the scientific evidentiary process gained through her 20-year career as a professional archaeologist that we can hope to learn the full truth without any compromised agenda. Her latest intel update from Thorhan suggests that the Galactic Federation is genuinely acting against hostile extraterrestrial civilizations on Mars, the Moon, the Earth, and elsewhere in our solar system. The clearing out of both of Mars' moons of hostile extraterrestrial civilizations that have previously impacted scientific missions there is a crucial development. Elena's intel suggests that the solar system is indeed in the process of being handed over to humanity, and that a set of meetings on Jupiter did recently occur, making this official. In the meantime, human groups such as the Deep State, the Dark Fleet, and an interplanetary corporate space program, which previously worked with the negative extraterrestrial groups, are losing power to an Earth alliance of white hats, the US Navy's Solar Warden space program, Dark Fleet defectors, etc., that are working with the Galactic Federation. This has been Dr.